Hi, this video is for associations and how to centralize and 10x member engagement in under 3 months. At For the Children, they came to us unable to consistently reach and train thousands of volunteers. And with Unleesh, they were able to create a single hub for all their training, events, conferences, and even intranet content in under 3 months. And it created value and engagement painlessly. When COVID hit, For the Children was not prepared. Like most organizations, they did not know exactly how to approach the moment. But with Unleash, they felt extremely prepared and grew their annual event and increased their profit margins. The Gap Year Association wasn't sure how to bring their community together during COVID, while also providing a vehicle for sponsors to reach their community. It was a unique challenge, and they knew how much they relied on sponsors and community together to create value. They ended up using Unleash and having the largest conference and margins ever, while even reducing fees for their sponsors. And what you saw is Gap Year Association break industry trends, which was super reliant on sponsorship to make the money side work, and host a great conference that created value. They broke the trend and they were super successful, and they did it very quickly. We've been working for years with Council on International Education Exchange, also known as CIE, because they care a lot about having good data and insights about their community. They support thousands of people to study abroad each year. And they needed over 90% compliance with their requirements and onboarding. And they've been able to do that year on year for tens of thousands of participants. So the old way of doing business, which requires lots of legwork or manual labor, just plain old email, has been transformed, creating data-rich sets that help the organization thrive. This video is for you if you're an association or council who's trying to be the connective tissue for your industry, but struggling with the hand-holding that each member requires from one event to the next, and you're feeling a little drained, or you're worried that your organization won't grow and prosper in this new moment, but you know you have the right community and the potential is there. Or you're just tired of the old school ways of doing things that are causing Zoom fatigue and a sense of moderate engagement, but some disengagement. It's also for you if you're seeking to be high impact in your sector, if you want to show leadership and intercultural communication capabilities and really nurture a vibrant community and have that one-stop shop where everybody feels taken care of. And you're highly sought after for your ideas and you're closely connected to your community, so you're trusted. And you want to bring solutions that are authentic, professional, and really meet your community where they are. So what's on your mind today, undoubtedly, is that you're worried about what the future of programming will look like. Will people stop paying for in-person programming? Will this lead to lost revenue? You're also maybe thinking this new era will hurt your ability to attract new members and keep them active. Well, if you're concerned about these types of things, I'm here to tell you, don't worry. There are some really powerful solutions out there to ensure that your community is more deeply connected with your content, with each other, and with your programs on an ongoing basis. You don't have to worry about falling behind the times and facing low participation. And you don't have to be suspicious about technology and that it can't deliver your content effectively or valid or effectively, because there are better answers out there. But all of your concerns are justified, right? You have concerns that things are changing quickly or that tech is not a perfect solution for everything, because they're not always, and things are changing quickly. You're also possibly concerned that your event planners who you've been working with for years help run great events, but they don't solve for post-event engagement. And that's what people are always asking about. What's after the event? Well, I'm here to tell you that members want support beyond the event. They are excited to continue to engage. They're looking for online education. They're looking for more resources to support them. And they're most importantly looking for each other. But if you're satisfied with juggling multiple platforms for members to use for post-event engagement to try to stay connected, or if you think that hosting virtual events is just going to be a cumbersome, miserable experience no matter what you do, and most importantly, if you're not willing to invest in the future, then this is probably not the video for you. But here's the truth. You can centralize and 10x member engagement in under 3 months. And you can do this by nurturing not just the event itself, but the ongoing engagement that looks at the long-term possibilities. And we're the best at providing these long-term engagement opportunities for both in-person events and virtual. We understand that the future is hybrid, and we provide the mechanism to solve for the hybrid future. We were founded in 2014, and we've been featured in all of the major news media that you've heard of. We're a founding team that knows what we're doing, knows that clients are the most important thing in the world, and that delivering value is what's on your mind. And over the years, we've had the privilege of working with some really remarkable institutions. We've worked with major universities and high school communities and different association groups and companies, and we're here to work with you. I come at Unleesh as a multiple-time founder and entrepreneur with 20 years of experience in the social sector. I have led programs and technology that support international programs for over 100,000 people in my career. And I have helped work across cultural barriers and across geographies, nurturing deeper connection on an ongoing basis. This is something that your association can have at an incredibly high level. I've also served on association boards and other nonprofit organizations, and I teach as a professor at Art Center College of Design. And all of my work is based on 3 basic beliefs. First of all, that people are people everywhere. We all want and need connection, and we want it to be authentic. Second of all, everything we need is right in front of us. You don't have to look far to find solutions to the most pressing challenges. We have what we need. And most importantly, we are the ones we've been waiting for. It's about taking action today that creates access to opportunities for our entire community. And to do that, the underlying theme is that authenticity is extremely important. We have to approach this with a real interest in our community, and our technology should be a tool to do that, but it should not be about the technology. The technology essentially should fade into the background as we support our people. So my career has been marked by seeking out a way to provide scalable, meaningful experiences that do bring people together. And I ended up creating a simple virtual platform that encourages deeper engagement and learning and training content. And I built that because I believed in the power of connecting people with ideas. When COVID shut down travel, associations turned to us to host their conferences and events, and we realized that there was a huge opportunity in using the technology we had built to support these organizations. Because you are connecting people around their ideas and really galvanizing your sector, we see an opportunity, and we are on a mission to get as many associations as possible to engage their community and to continue that engagement and the critical conversations that they're having within your sectors through our solution. So it's time to bring your community closer together and make your organization stronger every day. You can have a flywheel effect where every single day you show up, your organization is getting stronger because of the opportunities for your community to engage with each other. And this future world is going to include hybrid events. You're going to be hosting hybrid events because people have come to expect it, because it expands access to events and conferences. The old way that we used to create access to events and conferences is through scholarships or discounts to get people to attend. And what that led to was a few people who were able to participate who maybe otherwise wouldn't have been. Today, providing a high-quality platform used by people for in-person and virtual events simultaneously expands access and gets many more people to enjoy the full value of the event. So what we've basically done with COVID is cracked open an opportunity to engage everybody. And that has led to the new norm, which is widening your circle is the new norm. Widening your circle is the new norm, but it's also consistent with what the research shows. The research shows that the openness of our networks is directly correlated to our success. So we want to actually continue to nurture openness, not only technologically, but in every way, because it just leads to more possibility. And virtual events and communities will expand access and allow people to participate who are unable to pay for travel. So now access has a different meaning because there's no flight and hotel required. And it's time to support our core communities in a way that is deep and meaningful while allowing folks who are more adjacent to the core the opportunity to engage with your content and bring them closer to what value you provide. And by embracing this new norm, your organization will reap long-term benefits, not only for your organization specifically, but for the sector more broadly. So you might be wondering, can virtual really be as powerful as in-person events? And the answer is mixed, right? There are some ways that in-person is special, right? Seeing people face-to-face always matters. But remember, there are also things that are lost when it's in person. There are notes that disappear. There are conversations that are gone. There are hallway conversations that are fleeting and lost. What we propose is a way to bring it all together. The people who are in the room and the people who are not in the room can now continue that conversation, and it can be a 1 + 1 = 3 situation. Will virtual undermine your efforts to bring people together in real life? No. What you need to know is that people will always seek out connection in person. We are social animals, and by providing great events as well as widening your circle, you'll probably have higher attendance in person and higher attendance virtually, just continuing to create more opportunities. What happens to networking when your programs are really large? Well, it's a great question. So when programs get really large, one of the most important things you can do is provide a clear structure for people to find each other and engage with each other. And so networking can be different when you're in a small group, when you're with 60 people, or when you're with 600 or 6,000 people. But if everybody knows how to find each other and the most relevant people to their interests, networking can thrive. And that's what we've been really focused on understanding. And finally, if virtual is so effective, why do in-person at all? The answer is that your community, if they do like coming together in person, will still want to come together in person. It might change, the frequency might change, but in-person keeps people connected at a level that will always have meaning because we're social animals. The second thing you want to do to nurture your community, especially at events, is enable hallway conversations. But when people are all over the place, it's really tricky to enable virtual hallway conversations. And most virtual events don't deliver on the crucial hallway conversations that your members love. It's the spontaneous connection, the running into somebody who's miraculously interested in exactly what you're interested in, that can change someone's entire organization. The old way of nurturing these hallway conversations virtually is through email and listservs and breakout rooms and the manual introductions, the sort of 3-day effort to get two people to talk to each other. And what that leads to is inherently limited genuine engagement. People do meet, but there's much less spontaneity. There's less seeking from the community for their own opportunities. And the new solution has to enable hallway conversations virtually. And so if you can do that, you will be able to connect people more meaningfully all over the place. And there's a way to do this that we have learned. And that is the networking, the hallway conversations that you're seeking to create needs to be based on substantive sharing. Networking is not speed dating. Networking is not shake a hand, say hello, ask a title, and move on. Networking is about substantive sharing. See, people crave connection with others who are working on similar projects or initiatives. People have questions, they have struggles, they have curiosities, they have ideas. They want to talk to somebody else who knows what they're talking about, or at least who knows what they're going through. And that's why hallway conversations are so powerful, because spontaneous interactions lead to these connections. Oh, wow, other people are working on what I'm working on. So the way to do this virtually is to figure out a solution for cleverly sharing insights and reflections and aspirations in a way that is non-burdensome, that is light, but also not chaotic and overwhelming like a live chat feed during a live streaming video. So most virtual tools do not understand the power of substantive sharing and how to do it well. And that undermines networking. So you might be wondering, well, how is substantive sharing different from live chat on Zoom? And the key is that it's not about quick responses. It's about reflection. Substantive sharing happens after the session. It's not just opining on something quickly in a live feed to get eyeballs. It's about sharing a reflection or sharing some insight or lesson learned after the session. And you're wondering, is this better than random breakouts? Well, random breakouts are really just a way of organizing lots of people into small groups, which can be useful. But again, it might be a total waste of time if people aren't being grouped responsibly or correctly. So networking really is about finding people who have alignment or even relative alignment and connecting them. And that really isn't about speed networking. That isn't just break up and meet. While that's fun and that's nice for a cocktail party, to have real rich hallway conversations, people need to share a little bit about what they're thinking about, what they're working on, what challenges they're facing, what they loved about the last session, how the last session is valuable for their work so other people can engage. And, it can almost seem like we're talking about a social network here. So you might be wondering, does this require another social network? And the answer is no. What it requires is centralizing your community around your content, but creating channels for people to easily connect with each other and to get notified when others are connecting with them. And so there is a ton of powerful tools out there that we've created to support this so that the technology actually fades into the background and users do not feel like they're a part of another social network. Now, you also might be wondering, are there ways to meet beyond text-based chat? And the answer is yes. So text chatting or direct messaging or live chatting on a Zoom feed, those are all ways to get streams of information. But what we want to do is create a body of knowledge. We want to create a centralized tool collecting what everybody's thinking about and create that mushroom effect of all of the different creative juices in your community coming together and helping each other out. So the next thing you're going to need to do in this COVID world is create access to content and community. And that will inherently extend engagement opportunities. So there will be lots of possibilities out there for how to create that kind of engagement. But it inevitably leads to using many tools to provide those opportunities. And being overwhelmed by lots of tools only overwhelms your community and then leads to low participation. So what we're doing in the future is increasing the integration of different capabilities to create a seamless experience, right? And it doesn't have to be perfect that, you have the same exact experience of Facebook as Slack as WhatsApp. It's that you have really clear messaging, right? It doesn't have to be all of these tools that people use. It has to be a tool that people love. And the new result is that as people engage with each other easily and daily, really, or on a regular basis, there's continuous learning and engagement. And this leads us to our big insight, which is that events are an opening, but they are not the final destination. Events bring your community together and start that conversation, but it's really about getting the tools right and the substance right that creates ongoing, continued communication. And that's where we come in. So when we say this, the goal is to really start with an event or conference and let that create connections. It's all about organically nurturing the authentic connections that lead to really powerful outcomes after the event. And to do that, you need to be able to keep the conversation going after any event, which is usually really difficult. Most people feel like after everyone leaves the room, all of the conversations disperse as well. But your events are not the full value that you create for your community. The value that you create for your community is the constant support and engagement and connections and ideas and access. And that is going to be all about enabling ongoing connection with your content at the center that leads your members forward. So you might be wondering, what if events are the core of my business model? Well, that's great. Use your events, make your events successful, and then add all this additional value by bringing your community together on an ongoing basis. And you're maybe wondering how this will change the role of your events. Well, I'm happy to tell you that your events can be exactly what they are, but now they're just enhanced. Now they're about widening the circle. Now they're about creating access. Now they're about creating long-term connection. And in fact, with a virtual tool as part of a hybrid sort of event structure, your events become a repository of learning that people can continuously engage with and learn from for years to come. So if anything, your events become more powerful over time. And, this continuous engagement means people continuing to learn from things in the past and from each other. And it doesn't have to be synchronous. It can be in real time or it can be asynchronous. It's not always the right moment for everybody to learn something. Somebody 3 months later might come back to content and find that it makes all the difference in the world to them now. And if your community only likes to meet during live events, then still do live events, but offer these additional components and continue to widen your reach, because you're going to find that your community is larger than you thought and more people were left out than you had realized, because access is a real issue. And ultimately, who's responsible for maintaining continuous engagement? This is going to always be an important question for organizations. Do you spend time on it, or is this something that the staff, that the volunteers or members should be doing? It'll be different for every organization. But my answer is to engage and continue the conversation and see where it leads. And you'll see that much more is happening underneath than you're managing from the top. And finally, it's really important to track your engagement data. We live in a data-driven world, and you want better data to analyze. And every event usually ends with a survey and what could they have done differently and what could they have done better. And you try to require the survey, and you inevitably get sort of few replies, sort of general information, maybe some feedback about a specific talk or event. But what you really want is ongoing data collection. You want to collect information all the time, not just in a moment. And if you have a tool that successfully collects that data over time, you will have really powerful data for your future planning. And so this leads us to our final big insight, which is your community will show you the way if you let them. Your community knows what they want, and it's all about listening to them and understanding it. So doing that means constantly reviewing the data that comes in and understanding your participants' wants and needs, going beyond the standard metrics, the number of participants, the time in videos or total survey responses, and really understanding what the conversations are about, where people are held up, what people attended, what they're not attending, and really when they are attending, why. So there's a lot of data that comes through when you're collecting information on an ongoing basis from your community. And that leads you to build a searchable library of information from your events that gives you insight into how you can serve your community better. So a lot of people wonder if this creates privacy issues for participation. It doesn't. Participants always have the option to hide their responses from public view. They can communicate directly to you guys as an organization. And also we've done a lot to create protections for your users that their emails and phone numbers are not exposed, that this is ultimately a private experience. Is the data secure? It is. We host it on the highest security server systems. And this data is dramatically different from a survey because it's in real time, it's in the moment, and it's more germane to the specific events going on. So people are sharing much more meaningful, substantive, valuable information about them, and you can glean insights from what they're sharing rather than just asking them about you, right? It's about asking them about them and creating that deeper engagement with them than just focusing on how could the organization do better. Because people always have ideas, but it's in the output that they have and the value they're getting in real time that you'll understand what you could or couldn't be doing differently. And this doesn't need to replace all surveys. You can embed surveys into the tool, but you may not need it. It just depends on your goals and your KPIs and how you're measuring success. And this data is ultimately analyzed by you. You get the data, you have full access to the information, you get to understand what's going on. So in this new world, all you need to do is host hybrid events, enable virtual hallway conversations, create access to content and community through a simple tool, and track that engagement data. And you can centralize and 10x member engagement in under 3 months. The hard way to do this is struggling to make the most of virtual and hybrid world. Piecing together solutions like Zoom, Slack, and other various platforms to try to create engagement will just lead to juggling content, delivery, and communication tools with really no end in sight. And you'll lose out on the power of a catalytic event to create lasting engagement. And finally, you'll not have the crucial reporting and data so that you can learn how to improve how you support your community and grow your community. Unleesh is an easy solution. You can work with Unleesh to centralize and 10x member engagement in under 3 months. And you can do it with Unleesh as the virtual platform that provides in-the-moment activities that increase engagement 10 times. So members and participants are able to contribute in real time and maintain continuous involvement and come back asynchronously after the event and continue those conversations with other users. And ultimately, Unleash enables those hallway conversations in a virtual and hybrid world, which ultimately expands access to events and programs. Again, this is for association leaders who want to increase member engagement and program success, but are struggling to navigate a virtual and hybrid world. When Unleesh started working with For the Children, they were wondering what they could do to engage their massive network of volunteers and bring their core network of directors all together around their annual event. And so they started the way we recommend all of our organizations start. They hosted a great annual event virtually and created the beginning of ongoing engagement. And what they found was telling. Their community of volunteers, which come from all walks of life, had absolutely no trouble engaging with each other on Unleash. And so now they're talking about how this platform can be not just for events, but for all of their different activities going forward. And sure enough, they've begun to migrate intranet content and training content into Unleash to support their community. So when they needed something fast and they needed a solution to create ongoing engagement and a virtual event platform and to enhance their connectivity with their entire membership, they turned to Unleash. And what have they got? A single hub that's centralizing data, engagement, and community that is keeping people more involved and getting rave reviews. So they've not just been able to create better engagement, they've actually been able to increase their profit margins on events while keeping the costs affordable, even more affordable than ever in previous years. So they've achieved Unleash to get fantastic results for their organization, and our partnership with them continues to deepen every quarter. We worked with Gap Year Association when they were looking for an easy-to-use technology to bring their tight-knit community together for their first ever annual conference. This is a community that likes to do things in person, but they knew they had to find an alternative for this cycle. And sure enough, they were able to use Unleash not just for their events, but for creating connection among their communities and their committees that work on key sector topics together. And so they've been able to take their annual event, increase profit margins, multiply engagement, and do this while reducing sponsor fees. So the impact has been tremendous for Gap Year Association. And for years, Unleash has been working with CIE, which brings thousands of individuals on international fellowships and work and travel experiences where they need really solid training and onboarding content and data compliance. They need to ensure that people are doing what they say they're doing. And Unleash is the tool that gets that done. And now they have nearly 100% of all of their student participants completing all training and onboarding, verified exactly the way they need it to be. And they've created different trainings and ongoing content that ensures that the students who are participating on their programs are always learning and improving. It took them 4 months to get up and running. Years later, they're still loving the platform. So the benefits of using Unleash can be summarized into the following. You'll be able to centralize and 10x member engagement in under 3 months. So that's already more than enough to bring value to your community and to enhance your association. But you can create new mechanisms for deep and ongoing engagement in a hybrid world. And you can finally get rid of feeling overwhelmed by all the tools and logistics and hassle of putting on virtual and hybrid events. And we are your partner. So we will work with you to continue to develop improved logistics and event scenarios to make it much more successful as your needs evolve. And now you can forget about virtual events or activities that fail to support networking, because at the core of what we do is substantive networking. We're all about your community connecting with ideas. And finally, you will feel in control again. You will be able to offer what we call step-by-step engagement that keeps your community moving forward together. So before, when you wanted to host a conference, you had to organize an event in person. Now you can use our simple step-by-step engagement tool to bring your community together without being overwhelmed and worrying that people will not attend. Do you see how easy this is? We've created so many features and capabilities that support your community Here's a short list. We have an event and community platform, so participants know where to go and how to engage. They can engage in real time synchronously or asynchronously and share the experience over months or even years. We've created a community hub where everybody can find each other, where there's an ongoing directory and people can connect with each other and stay in touch. And we've created step-by-step engagement, which gives people a meets you where you are solution, where the user is engaged in content just in time, in small bites, moving through the journey of being one of your members. And that is why it's so powerful, because they are deepening their engagement with every additional activity. And that's what our approach is all about. We've created tools for direct messaging between members and groups, as well as breakouts that any participant can create to bring a group together on a particular topic. And we've integrated communication so your members get notified via email to come back to the platform. Because we all know that there's a risk when you have a platform that people won't go to it, but they don't have to. They're going to get a notification email and they're going to jump over to the platform seamlessly where they're already going to be logged in and they can access their content just on the spot. And finally, you as an administrator can schedule reporting and get the data you need when you need it. And if that's daily or weekly or monthly, it's available to you. This is what Unleash looks like. It's a really simple, clean interface that invites users to check out their own profile or their Pathmates profile. We call other participants on the platform Pathmates, where they can access the conference in a very clean and easy, accessible interface and see what other people are saying in current Path activity. There is constant engagement, but without the overwhelm. And it can be very rich and colorful and bright. The content that you deliver can meet people in a way that inspires them. It can be live streaming. It can be dynamic. It can be saved and recorded. It can be anything you want it to be because the platform seamlessly integrates with other technologies and delivers it in one place. So here, a user is able to learn about some content or see some cool video. And then at the bottom, there's an activity for that step-by-step engagement. And here, people share substantive insights like what innovation was sparked or new idea from this session that other people can see and comment on and engage with and deepen the conversation. This is all about deepening your membership conversation. We have 3 different tiers for pricing, which range from walk, jog, and run. We like to use the analogy of step by step because it's always moving forward. And each of our different feature tiers support you. We always provide white glove service support for all of our members, and that's part of our whole ethos. We want you to be successful. We don't want you to just think about this as a tech tool. And so we are going to help you move through the process and give you pretty much all the features depending on what you need based on your user group size. So the total value of a platform like this that integrates all these capabilities can run as much as $30,000 or more a year. But today's price will be a fraction of the $32,000. It won't even be near face value. And you can schedule a demo by going to the URL at the bottom anytime. But there are only 20 spots available. So fair warning, we only accept 20 new clients per month. And we do this intentionally because of the hands-on nature of our work. We work so closely with our clients that we're not looking for 100 clients a month. We're not looking for 1,000 clients a month. We're only allowing 20 people to sign up, 20 organizations to sign up per month because we become partners with you. We don't think of you as some distant client. We think of you as the vehicle to real impact, and we want to support you exactly the way you need. And that's one of the reasons why the value is so extraordinary. So now it's time to get started and save, because we will also include an additional 4 hours of content support right now. If you sign up today, we will offer you an additional 4 hours of content support, which includes strategy, content building, training, we will do more for you than we've ever done for our walk tier, which really just includes 2 hours. We're now going to give you 6 hours minimum of content support. That's practically like getting somebody a free event planner. So we're providing you extraordinary value beyond the platform to ensure your success. And that's happening only right now. And all of this comes with no contract. You can cancel at any time. We're so confident that you're going to love using Unleash and that your community is going to love Unleash that you can sign up today and you can cancel anytime. We believe that you're going to want to use it for years, as many of our clients have, but there's no risk to you. So you can sign up and get started today. So to lock in today's price and the extra 4 hours of content support, you're going to want to set up a call with us at Unleash Next Step, bit.ly/Unleash Next Step, to set up a call and begin the conversation. We can help you out really deeply. We can help you take all of the content, all of your dreams for your community in this new virtual world and turn it into a centralized community hub where people are constantly engaging with each other and you as an organization are constantly learning how to serve your community better. My name is Saul Garlick. I'm the founder of Unleash, and I am delighted to welcome you to the community.